All right, college algebra, welcome to what is hopefully your last instructional video of the school year 2023-2024. We're going to be looking at a few pages in your Chapter 9 game plan here today. And we have our special guest in our room. Yes, the blue button might be playing a role today in our classroom. Let's see if it has something to say. A little hello.
Mrs. Lamore is way smarter than you.
My goodness, it's been hacked. All right, no more nope, blue button gone. Okay, delete, bad. Okay, well, let's just forget that was there. We are gonna go to page 8 in your Chapter 9 game plan, page 8. All right, using the distance formula, find the equation of a circle, and then we're gonna kind of skip that part for this second. We have graphed this on, we've done these graphs on a separate sheet of paper. We know that the formula for a circle with the center of HK and radius R is this: x minus h, all of it squared, plus y minus k, all of it squared, is equal to r squared. So, on these 8 questions on this page, it says write an equation for each circle given the center and the radius. So that is h and that is k. So remember, it's minus. So what I wrote here is x minus a negative 3 squared plus y minus 2 squared is equal to 4 squared. All right, to subtract negatives to add, minus y minus 2 squared, and then what is 4 squared? It's 16. So the equation of my circle would be x plus 3 all of it squared plus y minus 2 all of it squared is equal to 16. All right, now before we talk about 2, because 2 involves a root right away, let's talk here about number 3. X minus 2 all of it squared plus y minus a negative 7 all of it squared is equal to 3 squared. To subtract negative 7 is to add 7. Just got to remember, to subtract a negative is to add. So that is the equation of my circle with that center and that radius. All right. Number 2, x minus 2 or 5, x minus 5. The blue button is evidently not wrong. All right, x minus 5, all of it squared, plus y minus a negative 3, all of it squared. How does that clean up? Subtract the negative is to add. When I square the square root of 10, I just get 10. Again, your calculator can do that. Let's see if we can put the TI-30XS multi-view right here. I don't know. This is, if we can zoom in, great. You know, the lighting's not fantastic here for some of our videos. All right, so use parentheses. If I have the square root of 10, close it, and then square it, I'm going to get 10. All right, use parentheses, especially for something like number 4. So my center is negative 2, 8. I'm going to have x minus a negative 2, all of it squared, plus y minus 8 squared. 5 root 3. So here's what's happening. The number on the outside is being squared. What is 5 squared? 25. When you square a square root, that number just drops on out. So what is 25 times 3? 75. Now, if you use parentheses correctly, you shall get this also in your calculator. We're going to first off have parentheses, and then on the outside we're going to have 5. The square root of 3, close parentheses, we're going to square it. Notice parentheses around both 5 and root 3. I get 75. Now here is the error a lot of students make. It's the following, okay? They'll write it like this. It looks the same. It's not, though. Again, your calculator never makes an error. It does the order of operations. That's how we get 15 here. That's because you're simply just telling the calculator to square root 3, and that gives you 3, and multiply just by 5. The first way I showed it here, you're squaring everything, and that's what you need, all of it, to be squared. Okay? Use that calculator appropriately. On number 5, the center is negative 1, 0. It's going to be x minus a negative 1 squared plus y minus 0 squared is equal to 5 squared. Y minus 0 is y. Square y. 5 squared is 25. And number 6. X minus 7, all of it squared, plus y minus 7, all of it squared. I'm going to take 4 and square it. That's 16. 4 squared is 16. When I square 2, I'm going to get 32. Making a video. Yeah. All right, sorry. That was somebody trying to say hi. Making a video. I'll come back to him. All right, 16 times 2 is 32. All right, well, this might have to be a quicker video. All right, shout out to Mrs. Kress. All right, Mrs. Kress tried to bug me. It's probably a very urgent matter here. But we got to press through here on Yak Math's videos because there's no editing done here. So x minus 0, all of it squared, plus y minus 7 squared is equal to 3 squared, which is 9. All right. Let's take a look at it here. The center of -2, -1. It's going to be x minus... Hey, yeah, sorry. I'm making a video. I can't edit it either. Can I... Okay, I'll come to your office. She's back. All right. Then... X... Thought she did not hear me. All right, we're all good here. X plus 2 all of it squared plus y plus 1 all of it squared is equal to root 23 squared, which is 23. All right. Here's what we're doing. Write the equation of a circle given the endpoints of the diameter. All right. So the equation of the circle, same type of question as before, okay? So the equation of the circle. If I have 2 points of a circle here, I can find the midpoint. What is the midpoint? I'm gonna add up those 2 points, divide by 2. All right, so midpoint here between those 2 points is -1, 1. So that's the center of a circle. All right, so given, and honestly, doing 13 and 14 would have been helpful first. So this is just one way we can do it. So we have a center, it's -1, 1. X plus 1, all of it squared, plus y minus 1, all of it squared, is equal to the radius squared. Now what I can do is I can look at a point here, 0, -6. I can plug 0 in for x. I can plug -6 in for y. I can see what happens. 0 plus 1 is 1 squared. This is a -7 squared. 1 plus 49 is 50, and that's equal to r squared. Remember, that's what the equation wants, r squared. Okay, so that's one way to do this question. Now, I'm going to show you in 12, a little different. All right, the midpoint. -3 plus 1, divide by 2. -1 plus -9, divide by 2. -1, -5. All right, so I have x plus 1, all of it squared, plus y plus 5, all of it squared is equal to r squared. Again, the midpoints of 2 points that are on the circle or endpoints of a diameter, the midpoint is the center. So we have the center, we just need to figure out what r squared is. So you're going to pick a point here to use. Plug 1 in for x, -9 in for y. 1 in for x, -9 in for y. Add those two numbers here and square them. R squared is 20. R squared is 20. Again, that is what we want. Now, that is one way to do it. That's probably the quickest way. Here's another way. So first off, again, we just find the midpoint. We take 0 plus -6, divide it by 2. -4 plus 2, we divide it by 2. Okay? So the center is right there. Now, the way the book might show is if these are endpoints of a diameter, and the distance between those 2 points is, in fact, the diameter. Okay, so we can figure out what's the distance between 0 and -6? 6 squared. What's the distance between -4 and 2? It's 6 squared. So the distance squared is 72. That means the distance is the square root of 72. That means the distance, which is the diameter, is 6 root 2. It means the radius is half the diameter. It's 3 root 2. The radius is half the diameter, 3 root 2. So, again, we need the radius squared, just like the first page. So we're going to take 3 root 2, and we're going to square it, and we get 18. That is one way to do it. You probably have to do number 10 by yourself so you can decide which way you want to handle that. So a little bit of a challenge. That was going to make hopefully 13 and 14 that much easier. So the center is negative 1, 3. So it's going to be x plus 1 all of it squared plus y minus 3 all of it squared is equal to r squared. All right, we're going to plug 7 in for x. I'm going to plug negative 3 in for y. I'm going to get 8 squared and a negative 6 squared. 64 and 36, that is 100. R squared is 100. All right, again, pause this if you need. So I'd like for it not to be 20 minutes. Center is negative 3, 8, and it goes through 2, 4. So the equation of my circle to begin with would be x plus 3 all of it squared plus y minus 8 all of it squared, and that's equal to r squared. I'm going to plug this in for x. I'm going to plug this in for y. And for x and for y. I'm going to get r squared is 41. R squared is 41. And that is the equation of my circle. All right, folks, what we will end on here is, now we have done pages 10, 11, and 12, the 3 circle, graphing circle pages. But if you're not here, let's look at page 12. Again, this is how you graph, given the equation of a circle. What is the center? It's a negative 4, negative 2. Set this equal to 0, set this equal to 0. R squared is 4. The radius is 2. Negative 4, negative 2 is the center. I go up 2, down 2, right 2, left 2, and I make a circle. All right, figure out what the center is, find the radius, and then we got our circle. Set this equal to 0, set this equal to 0. My center is 1, 2. R squared is 36, so R is 6. My center is 1, 2, up 6, down 6, right 6, left 6. All right. Then, here we go, page 13. This is page 13. We talked about one of these questions in chapter 4. It said a little preview to pre-calculus. This is exactly the type of question we're going to do in pre-calculus. Find the center and the radius of the circle. That's my goal, is to get it in this form. And then say what the center and the radius are. All right, what we're going to have to do is complete the square twice. So this negative 13 needs to move over. All right, I need to leave a space after negative 6x and a space after 8y. Here's how you complete the square. I take this middle term, which is negative 6. I divide it by 2. All right, I take half the middle term, and then I square it. What is negative 3 squared? It's 9. All right, so I put a plus 9 there. If I added 9 to the right, so what do I got to do to the left? You got it, add 9. Then I take this 8, I take half of 8, it's 4, and I square 4 to get 16. I'm going to put a plus 16 here, I'm going to put a plus 16 there. All right, so that gives me 38 on the right side, perfect. I ask myself, what multiplies to 9 and adds to a negative 6? It's always half the middle term, it's x minus 3 twice. What multiplies to 16 adds to 8, it's 4 twice. All right, that's what we're doing, completing the square. So what's the center? Positive 3, negative 4 is the center. R squared is 38, so the radius is the square root of 38. All right, that could be, besides graphing parabolas, that could be our most challenging question. All right. Number 2, here's what we're going to do number 2. First off, I need to get the x's together. I need to get the y's together. That 9 is already on the right side. Okay, so x squared plus 2x. I take the middle term, which is 2. I take half of it, which is 1. Then I square 1. So I'm going to put a 1 here on the left, which means I got to add 1 here on the right. Then I take a look at 4y. 4 is in the middle term. I take half of 4, and I square it, so I get a plus 4 here, which means I get a plus 4 on that side. What multiplies to 1 and adds to 2? 1 twice. What multiplies to 4 and adds to 4? 2 twice. So the center is going to be a negative 1, negative 2. R squared is 14, so R is the square root of 14. Okay. Okay, again, we have plenty of time before we take this quiz. Lastly, number 3. X squared plus 8x, y squared minus 6y. Set that equal to 0. There's 8 in the middle term here. I'm going to take half of 8, which is 4. I'm going to square 4, so I'm going to add 16 there, which means I'm going to add 16 here. Negative 6 is my middle term. I'm going to take half my middle term. It's negative 3. Then I'm going to take negative 3 and square it. Plus 9 here, plus 9 here. That gives me 25 on the right side. 1 multiplies to 16, adds to 8, 4 twice. 1 multiplies to 9, adds to negative 6, negative 3 twice. So the center is negative 4, positive 3, negative 4, positive 3. And r squared is 25. So r is 5. All right, folks. There it is. This is the Yak Math videos for the last time this year. Signing out.